welcome to another episode of the Big Womening Podcast. Welcome back. This is episode 2. So last week's episode 1 came out on Wednesday. This is episode 2. Thank you guys for being with me on the journey. I think I explained last week, this has been a podcast that's been in my head for a long time. And this is a podcast where we discuss life, love, and what it means to be a big woman. So thank you for tuning back in. And by big, we don't necessarily mean size unless you want it to. We're talking to women who are growing up, who are adulting, who are becoming wise, becoming pillars of the community and doing big things with their lives. So that's what this podcast is all about. And me, the voice you hear, the person you see, my name is Jordan. I go by Jordan Speaks on social media, and I'm your host. And this is my podcast, and I'm so excited for this week's episode. But please pause. Take a second because I'm powering through the introduction. Click follow and subscribe, please. Thanks. I'd really appreciate it. I know it's only week 2. I know. And if you've come from episode 1, I'm so happy because I must have done something in episode 1 for you to be here for episode 2. And if you've just tuned in to episode 2, go back and listen to episode 1, please. And follow and subscribe so that you can be kept up to date with new episodes when they drop. And also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at Jordan Speaks. Jordan with an E. So that's the introduction. Let's get straight into this week's episode. So you guys know, well, maybe you don't, but I like to kick off every episode that we have with a Am I the Arsehole scenario question because I think they're brilliant. Reddit is my favorite place. I'm there all the time, scrolling through the stories, scrolling through all of the things that people post because I'm nosy and because I just think it's the gift that keeps on giving. I love these scenarios. So let me find the one that we're going to focus on for today's episode. Okay. Here we go. Am I the arsehole for begging my girlfriend to uphold a sexist tradition just so she can make a good first impression? No, let me not judge. Let's get into this. And as you guys, if you've heard the first episode, you know I am a commenter. I comment all. I haven't got many messages saying that I've annoyed them. So I'm going to just carry on because when I read these, I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? So let me just read it. You guys will hear me comment and let me know in the comments below your comment. Okay. I have a big family that's incredibly close. That's nice. That's cute. We have big family dinners every few months where we all meet at my great-grandfather's estate and eat together. Wow. So it sounds like it's a big family at the great-grandfather's estate. Okay. No, I like traditions. I like family traditions. This is nice. Okay. Typically, how this works is that the women go and cook for the first time. No, sorry, let me start again. Typically, how this works is that the women go cook for the time they're there and the men don't. Which I am fully aware it's sexist as hell. That being said, I am one of the youngest people in the family and my protests mean literally nothing. So this is what happens. The women cook, the men chill, and because he's young, he doesn't think that his voice really matters in this gathering that his family have. Okay, cool. Some of those women choose not to cook. However, this is usually met with a level of ostracizing. The women who don't cook are wives and long-term girlfriends. I think he said lives, but I think he meant wives and long-term girlfriends. So they kind of already have a good family relationship doctored in. When I have new partners not cook, it's gone bad. Like completely ostracized, not speaking, cattiness, rudeness. So I think he's referring to his family. So you can get away with not cooking if you are a wife and a long-term girlfriend. You can get away with that. But if you're a new person it hasn't gone well. This sounds wild. This sounds like a movie, like Succession or something. This sounds like a movie. And I think him even saying ostracized, not speaking, cattiness and rudeness, I think he's referring to his family towards his partner who's chosen to not cook. This is a lot of pressure. But okay. Anyway. This dinner will be in 2 weeks and my girlfriend was asked if she would attend. Initially, she said yes, which is great. I want for her to meet everyone and for everyone to get used to her being around. But when I explained to her the tradition, she was understandably bothered. Okay. So it sounds like they're serious. So he wants to get her involved in the family. This seems like a good way of doing it. It sounds like everybody's at the great grandfather's estate, every month or whenever he said this happens. He wants her around, but she's bothered. Okay. I told her that I understood where she was coming from. However, it was best for everyone if she just played along. I told her this isn't a permanent thing and that I am only asking her to do this so that she can avoid bad treatment from the rest of the family. This is her first impression and I don't think it's best if we cause waves. She told me that it's unacceptable and that if she has to do that, she will not be going. I've tried to find a compromise with her on this, but she won't budge and she's pissed at me. She told me that if I think it's acceptable to make her do this, I'm just as bad as everyone else, while my point is that she needs to make a good first impression. Am I the asshole? I think this is a really tough one. So my initial thought was, do you know what? And this is probably how I live my life. And this is, we're just me and you talking. I thought, do you know what? If I've got to go to my boyfriend's family's thing, this is the whole thing that they want to do. This is the whole tradition that they have. I can go and sit in the kitchen or go and cook in the kitchen. I like to cook. It doesn't bother me. And actually, if it's a thing where the family are going to view me negatively if I don't, I might have to bite this bullet. If everyone's going to be happy, is it an easier way of managing this? I'll just do it. I don't want the arguments. I don't want the waves. I don't want the problems. And actually, if he's somebody who I want to be with, it's not him saying I have to do it. It's his family saying I have to do it. Then fine. I'll just toe the line. That's my initial thought. That was my initial thought. Then the second thought was this. Who do this family think they are? Who do they think they are? Making my life hard because I don't want to cook at your great grandfather's estate. Why should I be judged by those decisions? It is not 1910 anymore. Women do not have to sit in the kitchen and cook if they do not want to. If you want to, fine. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. But why should I feel pressured to toe this line? Why? Also, it's not my part, unless my partner is hiding behind his family, which I don't think this guy is doing. I don't get a sense that he is doing this. But if my partner's not bothered about me going in the kitchen and cooking, then what's the problem? Because I'm here for him anyway. And if this is how this family operates, so when I turn around and say that I don't want to do something, they all turn on me, they're rude, they're catty, whatever. Is this the type of family that I want to invest in? Is this the type of family I want to raise children in? Is this the type of family that I want to celebrate every big occasion with? Maybe not. And then maybe it comes down to, so those are my first two thoughts. And then I thought, maybe it comes down to how much I like this guy. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Because it's only me and you here. So if I liked him, I probably would be. This wouldn't bother me. If maybe I wasn't into you that much, this would bother me more. That is my honest review of the situation. It raises red flags about the family, I think, more so than the partner. And it sounds to me like he has tried to say one or two things before and it hasn't gone well for him. So this family seemed like they are a united block. And if you don't toe the line, it gets to be a bit of an issue. However, he also said that the wives and long-term girlfriends don't have to cook. So once you've done it a few times, you can then turn around and say, do you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Actually, I've done my bit. I'm off. I'm going to go and sit with the guys and chill. And it doesn't sound like that's an issue. So it's almost a bit of a trial by fire. Which brings me back to my second point. No, my first point. If I have to cook, go in the kitchen and cook for the first 1 or 2 times we've done this, fine. It's not going to be a forever thing because the long-term wives and partners, the wives and the long-term partners, aren't cooking all the time. Yeah. And who wants to sit with the guys anyway when everyone knows all of the good discussion happens in the kitchen with the women? We all know that. Oh, no, I don't think he's an arsehole. Now, Reddit voted and said that he is an arsehole. I haven't even read right. Let me read some of the comments. But I don't want to be swayed by the comments. But someone said, why is my girlfriend mad that my family expects her to cook for them after inviting her as a dinner guest? That's true. You are a guest. So I think it's the expectation that you will do this. It's the expectation that you will go in the kitchen and cook. Guys, this one isn't a clear-cut one for me. Last week's one was so clear-cut, I had nothing really to say. I've been rambling for about 10 minutes now about this. But you guys, let me know. Let me know what you think. But I do not think he's an arsehole. I do. Oh my gosh. Am I a pick-Misha? I don't know. I don't think I am. I don't think he's an arsehole. If it was me, if I was a girlfriend, I would cook for the first 1 or 2 times. And then I'd be like, guys, I cooked last month and the month before. I'm going to sit this one out. And by that time, they would love me because I would have been in the kitchen, catching jokes, laughing with them, having a great time. So that would be my game plan. I'm going in the kitchen, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. So this week's Big Women's Chat is about the following topic: feeling guilty about rest. And I feel like I heard you all sigh because I think this is such a big topic and I don't think it's discussed enough. Feeling guilty about rest. And I'll tell you where it comes from. So I have had a long week, just at work and doing all this stuff and preparing for this podcast and sorting out last week's episode. So I've had a full-on week and I was sitting down and I was watching Grey's Anatomy because I'm now obsessed with this show, which I don't know. I know we're 19 episodes seasons in actually, and I'm on season 2. Don't judge me. We all have to start somewhere. So I have been like blitzing it. I have been sitting down, watching a couple episodes here and there and whatever. And the other day, I had watched maybe like 1 episode, maybe 1 episode and a half. Let me not lie to you. I watched maybe 1 episode and a half. And then I was like, right. I jumped off the sofa. I was like, right, okay, let me go and do this. Let me go and sort this. It was about 8:30 at night. It was like, so I was like, let me go and do this. Let me go and sort out some prep for food tomorrow. Let me go and just sweep the room. And I just thought, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It's not necessary. Tomorrow will come. Tomorrow will be a day. I know tomorrow's not promised, but I hoped tomorrow came. Where I can sort all these things out. I don't have to do this right now. I've had a long day. I'm tired also, let me add. I'm tired, so I am allowed to rest. And I just thought, isn't it sad that we feel guilty about resting. And I think this is a lot. I don't know. I've never had a conversation with a man about this, but I've had so many conversations with women who have said the same thing, that they feel that they just, when they have a moment to sit down, there's something else they could be doing. Let me put the laundry on. Let me clean the bathroom. Let me go and soak this food. Let me go and reply to this message. Let me go and check this. Let me just Google this and find this. It's enough. It is enough. So I was doing some research, obviously, into this, and I just wanted to kind of see what is being said about guilt caused by rest. And I came across this article, which I'll have to find. But it's rooted in perfectionism. And so society has done a number on us. Us ladies, we have suffered. We are suffering. Society has done a real number on us, because being guilty about resting comes from an idea that we as women must be perfect. And to be perfect means also to be productive at all times, which is wild and not true, because it is not possible to be productive at all times. It's not possible. And we know that. We human beings need to rest. We need to rest. It's important that we rest. And we don't do well when we haven't rested. We don't do well when we haven't rested. So the fact that we've become wired to constantly be on the go, constantly be doing something, constantly be on the go until we sleep is wild and is wrong. Then I also read another article and this has become my favorite phrase to live by, is rest is an activity. So I've had to now change how I view rest, because when you've been given this standard of being constantly productive is how you demonstrate your value, where you get your value from, then which would mean that to rest would equate to being lazy and equate to losing value. All of that whole myth, that whole story, that whole narrative has had to be challenged. So now, having done some more research, you can tell I'm a researcher, my favorite phrase to live by is rest is an activity. And now that I have started to internalize that rest is an activity, it's been great. So I have my blips, like the other day when I jumped off the sofa because I'd watched 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy. Fine, because I'm a work in progress, guys. Like I'm a work in progress. Like he's working on me. So I'm a work in progress. But when you think of rest as an activity, it changes everything. It changes everything. And this is what I want. I want you guys to do some homework. If you are somebody who feels guilty about rest, so whenever you have a downtime, you are filling your downtime with something because you have swallowed the Kool-Aid too, and you think that productivity, you have to be productive all the time. Remember that rest is an activity. Rest is an activity, so you have to do it. Factor that into your productivity. Factor your rest into your productivity if that's what you need to do. Factor a rest. The same time with babies and children, you may say, okay, you need to go and take a nap because you take a nap. You take a moment. You've been doing too much all day. Take a moment over there for an hour or so. Wake up and we'll start again. Is the sort of boundaries you have to have with yourself. Because if you do not rest, you affect your health, physical and brain health. Let's talk about both of those things. You will affect your health, physical and brain health. You will not be operating at the level you need to be operating at. It's just not possible. You will be better off for having had the rest than if you hadn't, if you are tired and experiencing tiredness. we see so many women who have overworked themselves who then become unwell. Yes, we do. We see so many women who become unwell because they have overworked themselves. And if only they had rested. If only they had, no. Let me even rephrase it. If only they had prioritized rest. If only they had seen rest as an activity. Guys, that's your homework. That's your homework. That is the Big Women Chat this week. It is about being guilty about rest and challenging that by seeing rest as an activity, and watch how resting becomes easier. I mean, just to conclude my little story. So after I had my moment and I jumped up, I think I did do something. I think I went and put like some clothes in the wash. So I was like, let me do a little bit of laundry. And then I was like, no. And then I watched like another like 2 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, which is great. Guys, if you haven't watched it, I feel like the whole world has watched it except for me. But if you are also another unicorn like me and you haven't watched it, please go and watch Grey's Anatomy. Like, I'm just loving it. I'm just loving it. I'm almost at I'm just about to start season 3, and yeah, I mean, it's 19 seasons. I don't know if I'm making it to 19, but who knows? With all this new resting I'm going to be doing, who knows? But guys, rest is an activity. So guys, as you guys know, it's my view that big women learn very well from other big women's experience. So each week I will be coming with a quote from a well-known woman who's done big things with their lives, who are doing amazing things with their lives, and I will be sharing a quote and we can just kind of discuss it. We can reflect upon it. So last week was Frida Kahlo. Was it Frida? Yeah, it was Frida Kahlo. Go and have a listen to that last week's episode. This week I have chosen Shirley Chisholm. A lot of people don't know about Shirley Chisholm. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. But Shirley Chisholm is the first African-American woman to be elected to the US Congress in 1968. To the US Congress. Now let's just think about if I have any American listeners, let me not offend you lot, but America is a crazy place. I think everyone's allowed to say that. I think that's a general knowledge. I think that's a general common knowledge and understanding. America is a crazy place. Now, but in 1968, and for Black people as well, so African American, America was a crazier place, I would say. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. Let's just be open about that. So for Shirley Chisholm to become to be elected to the US Congress in 1968, what an amazing feat. How amazing. And here are a few more facts about Shirley. So she ran as a Democratic presidential nomination in 1972, Guan, and she went on to write like 2 other books. So she's an acclaimed author. She's just out here being a politician. She's just out here doing a lot of the firsts. First Black woman in the US Congress, first Black woman to run as a Democratic presidential nomination, just doing all the firsts. I think she died in 2005. But you guys go and check out the things Shirley was doing, because she wasn't messing about. She wasn't playing games. But here's the quote that I want us to think about. So Shirley says this: tremendous amounts of talent are being lost to our society just because that talent wears a skirt. Shirley. And it's sad to say, isn't Shirley's quote still incredibly relevant to today? Discrimination against women is high. Women not being taken seriously because of what they wear. Women not being taken seriously because of them being women. We all hear of the stories, in the boardrooms or wherever, of women voices not being listened to. The same, idea or suggestion that you've made is made by somebody else a few minutes later and is received completely differently, which just goes back to what she says about talent being lost because you're wearing a skirt. I mean, women are the change makers of society. Women hold society up on their shoulders. And I will argue that point to the end of time. The strength of a woman, to me, is absolutely unmatched. Absolutely unmatched. So this quote is so relevant, and something for us to think about for the coming week. But yeah, go on, Shirley. Good for her. Good for her. Well, guys, that is it for episode 2 of the Big Womening podcast. I can't believe we're at episode 2. This is great. I hope you enjoyed. Please share with your people who you think would enjoy. Please subscribe, follow on TikTok and Instagram. You can find me at Jordan Speaks on both platforms. If you subscribe to the podcast, you'll get notified about the next episode. We drop an episode every Wednesday, so look out for it. And guys, thank you so much. I will see you guys in the next week Wednesday. So let me go and figure out what I'm going to do for that episode. But take care of yourselves. Go and be great. Okay, thanks. Bye.